pictures from Railways Club to see what unfolds in the next few moments. But joining me in studio now is Dr. Richard Mogeni, who has been a lead negotiator for KMPDU, to talk to us more about what has just unfolded now and, of course, in the past weeks. Let's begin with that. Did you have a permit for this vigil?
Yes, we've been holding the meetings in railways throughout the whole day.
Meetings, but not vigils. The vigil that police are saying is illegal.
Am I a citizen of this country? I'm extremely disturbed that, I'm supposed to even ask for a permit to walk on the streets or even to assemble with my fellow colleagues. If it's going in that direction, then I'm afraid I will have to revise whether I'm still a Kenyan or I'm something else.
Okay. Let's get into some of the issues as we see what will be unfolding in the next few moments. KNCHR sent a statement saying that as of last night, before, of course, your colleagues were sent to jail today, 90% of the issues had been ironed out. Is that correct?
That's very true. We had made a lot of progress.
So what are the 10% sticky areas you couldn't agree on?
You know, the disagreement is simply a fundamental issue. The doctors want a collective bargaining agreement, whereas the government wants only a return to work formula. But we anticipate a situation where we are supposed to have both of them, a return to work formula and a collective bargaining agreement.
But are you staying put on the 2013 one, or are you willing to revise what was on what you say was a CBA 2013?
Even revising that CPA 2013, there has to be goodwill from the government.
90% sounds like a lot of goodwill.
Yes, the goodwill is that we had made progress in terms of even opening the CPA and discussing it. We had issues in agreeing on the implementation date. That's what will definitely define what 2013 is or not. And we were going to discuss that and agree. But, we've been doing this under a lot of duress. There is a gun hanging on your head. You're being told if you do not agree right now, you will be going to prison. It's a very unfortunate situation because it looks like, the third arm of the government, that's judiciary, is in cohabitation with the government on this matter.
But they ruled on the issues that were presented to them. But let's continue in a negotiation which you've been involved in as a lead negotiator. There's give and take. We've seen what the government has put on the table. What are some of those areas you'd say you considered that you really wanted as part of the deal, but because and for the sake of returning to work and calling off the strike, you gave up and you considered in this particular talks?
We've considered so much that...
What's one main one?
This negotiation did not begin yesterday. It even began before the strike came to be. And we had been sitting down. All the issues that they were raising, most of them are quite administrative issues. It's on how to handle workers from one level of government to another. And we didn't have a problem with that. In the year 2013, that was contentious. And we are in agreement that issues which are administratively handled, they can be so done. And we have agreed with the government that, as we wanted at least 400 doctors to be trained to specialty level, then they wanted even more than that. So we've considered, if you asked me. And if you look at the issue to do on monetary terms, this issue we cannot say we've either considered or not because it was an issue under discussion. What the government has been doing is they just bring a return to work formula on table. Nothing for discussion. A return to work formula, and that's what we are supposed to address. You are given, you either sign or not. Is that a negotiation? And even this mediation bit of it, part of the mediators have really failed, especially the court side, as did not do us a favor, because they wanted to explicitly talk about the government language, which is sign a return to work formula and go.
Okay. It has been claimed that, doctors have private clinics, and for them at this particular time, they're not feeling the pinch of the strike. In fact, they are cashing in. What do you say to that sentiment?
That is not very true. And this is a very historical thing. Kenyans know that for very many years, doctors have been suffering. Doctors do private clinics because of people trying to work outside their stipulated hours to reach the Kenyans who cannot reach them. For instance, we have got very few specialists in this country, that even if you had put them in a situation where there are no facilities to work, they will be seeing just a fraction of this population. So when they sit in their private clinics, it's not for monetary. For instance, if you have an office here in Nairobi, say in an electricity house, you are going to pay rent, you are going to pay the worker who is there, you are going to pay for other utilities. It is just an office where you meet those patients who you could have not attended
So you
to in
concede
another
they are
place.
running clinics. But let's wind up on this note. You are going to be in charge of the caretaker committee, or what is your role now going forward as your colleagues are in jail? Briefly, please.
It is true that as a leader in the union, if there will be a vacuum of leadership, which is not there now, our leaders still are in office.
But they're in jail, they cannot negotiate.
Yes, they are
and as
in
far as
jail.
the talks are concerned.
No, let me be very explicit and be very clear to Kenyans that there is no negotiation which will happen whatsoever until the CPA 7 are released.
Okay.
There is nothing, we can't engage, we can't do anything, there is no signature we can append anywhere. Even though I'm in that caretaker kind of committee, that is simply for guiding the members in this issue.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Mogeni. We appreciate you joining us. Of course, remember our big Q tonight. We're engaging with you. Do you feel the government really cares for you? Share with us your views at KTN News, at KTN Kenya.